All right, so let's do this review because I'm not there and I want to make sure that you can do the test because I know a lot of you forget over the weekend. So, write an equation that is perpendicular to the line y equals 5 over 6x plus 1. Now, if you do write this down on a sheet of paper and you turn it in, I will give you extra credit on your test. So, when we see the word perpendicular, you're going to cross it out and you're going to write K, C, F. Now, on your test, if you cross it out and put KCF, I will give you extra credit every time I see it. So KCF means keep, change, and then we're going to flip it. So I'm going to keep my slope, which is 5 over 6. I'm going to change it to negative, and I'm going to flip it, negative 6 over 5. So all I need is that negative 6 over 5. So anytime you see perpendicular, it's KCF. You keep the fraction, you change it to negative, and you flip it. What is the slope of a line parallel to the equation y equals negative 2/3 x plus 6? Well, parallel, we're going to cross that out, and we're going to put same. Again, you get extra credit if you do this on your test. So our slope here is negative 2 over 3. So our parallel slope is going to be negative 2 over 3. What is the slope of a line parallel to the equation 2x plus 4y equals 12? Well, first of all, we need to underline parallel or circle it. We're going to cross it out and you're going to put same. So we want a line that has the same slope as this equation. It is not solved for y though. We can't do anything unless we solve for y. So we're going to rewrite it. We're going to write 2x plus 4y is equal to 12. First step, subtract 2x on both sides. We're moving the x. 2x is killed off, so now I have 4y is equal to negative 2x plus 12. What's my last step? Well, I got that 4 in front of that y. In order to get rid of it, I'm not going to subtract it. I'm going to divide, divide, and divide. So when I do that with my calculator, I'm going to get y is equal to negative 1 over 2x plus 3. Now, it's asking the slope. So what is the slope here? Negative 1 over 2. And we want it that it's parallel, so that's going to be the same one. So our answer is just going to be negative 1/2. What type of correlation does this graph below represent? Well, as we can see, it's going up, so it's positive. What is the best prediction of sales when the temperature is 21 degrees? All right. Look at the answer choices and give yourself a minute to think about what it could be. So, at 21, we want a temperature. I'm going to go up, and where it hits the scatter plot, it's about somewhere between 400 and 500. So a good answer would be C. What is the rate of change of the graph? Well, first off, what is rate of change? We're going to cross that out, and we're going to put slope. Now, slope is not y equals mx plus b. Slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to pick 2 points. The points I'm going to pick on this graph is 10, 12, and 64. So I'm going to label x1, y1, and x2, y2. And when I plug that in, I get 4 minus 12 all over 60 minus 10. And I keep going. I get negative 8 over 50, which reduces to negative 0.16. So my answer is B. Another way I can look at it is it's decreasing. So I know it can't be C or D because it is going down, so I'm going to have a negative slope. What type of correlation does the graph below represent? Well, this one's going down, so it's going to be negative. Okay, this one's kind of a beast, but let's review. The distance traveled by a certain motorcycle varies directly to the amount of fuel it consumes. Before we keep reading, I'm going to cross out the word varies directly, and I'm going to write butterfly. Okay, the motorcycle traveled 40 miles on 2 gallons of fuel, and at the same rate, how far would the motorcycle travel on 8 gallons of fuel? Well, we got two categories. We got miles and we got gallons. So I'm going to put miles on the top, and I'm going to put gallons on the bottom. So we're going to butterfly. We got these two fractions going on. On the top, I'm going to put my miles. So I got 40. And on the bottom, I'm going to put my gallons. And we're going to do the same thing with the next sentence. So on this one, it says, at the same rate, how far would the motorcycle travel on 8 gallons of fuel? Well, 8's on the bottom. So we're going to put X on the top. Now we butterfly. So 40 times 8 is 320. And we're going to equal it to 2x. Lastly, we're going to divide that by 2. And we get x is equal to 160. So that was not one of the answer choices. So haha, we circled something because the answer is 160. Okay, so we're going to do linear regression. In order for us to do linear regression, you need to use your calculator. This is not something you can do in your bottom of your head. So it's asking correlation, stronger weak, and the correlation coefficient. So on your calculator, so you're going to go to Home, New Document, then we're going to go to Calculator, and you're going to press these buttons, Menu 613. I repeat, Menu 613. Now we need to type in our x values, so we have to press Control and then parentheses, the one that's right next to the 0, the one that looks like a weird ear. If you don't have that symbol, it's going to mess you up. Now you're going to type in all those numbers. So we are typing in these numbers right here in our x values. And remember, you need that symbol and commas in between. And now we're going to do our y values the same way. Press Control and then the parentheses next to the 0. And we're going to type in the y values. So now I'm showing you that I am typing these numbers in the bottom. Now I'm going to go to OK after I verify all my numbers. And now I'm going to look at what the calculator gives me. The only thing I care about is R. So in my case, R is 0.952745. Since it is a positive number, your correlation is going to be positive. Since it's bigger than 0.5, it's going to be strong. And that is it for linear correlation and linear regression. What is the slope of a line perpendicular to the y-axis and crosses the line y equals 2x plus 2? So it's asking the slope of a line that's perpendicular to the y-axis. We don't care about the rest of this problem. So what I care about is the slope of a line that's perpendicular to the y-axis. So I'm going to draw the y-axis on my screen. So if my y-axis is up and down, the only kind of line that would be perpendicular is a flat line. Well, if you look at that green chart on the right next to the flag, you would see that when it's a flat line, your slope is 0. You have nothing to do with the 2x. It doesn't care about that. All it's worrying about is perpendicular to the y-axis. Given that a line has a slope of 1/2, which equation describes a line that passes through the point -2, 2 and is parallel to the line. Okay, so we will have a slope of 1/2. We have parallel. I'm going to cross it out and I'm going to put same. One of these have to have a slope of 1/2. Well, in order for us to do that, we need to solve for y. So I'm going to solve the left one first by adding 1/2 x to both sides. So now I have y is equal to 1/2 x plus 3. Now we're going to make sure it passes through the point of -2/2. So when I do that, I'm going to go to my calculator and I'm going to go to Home, New Document. I want to go to Graphs, and then I'm going to go, after I hit Graphs, I'm going to go to Relation, and I'm going to type in that equation. So our equation was y equals 1/2 x plus 3. After we graph it, we're going to check if it has a point, -2, 2. Well, at -2, it is at 2, and we have a slope of 1/2, so therefore my answer is the first equation. So, what you need to remember before you take the test is when you see the word parallel, you're going to cross it out and you're going to write same. When you see the perpendicular, you're going to cross it out and you're going to put K, C, F. You keep it, you change it, you flip it. If you see rate of change, you will cross it out and you're going to put slope. And that is your y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Lastly, if you see correlation, you will cross it out and write menu 613, and you put that in your calculator. Good luck, and I will grade them when I get back later today.